my biggest income stream is my makes more money than the AdSense and all the other ones put together.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the YouTube Business Academy podcast with your hosts, Ron and George. Today, we're going to be diving deep into the magical world of YouTube success with a guest who's charmed over 1.2 million subscribers with his sleight of hand. Meet Oscar Owen, the master magician who's not just pulling rabbits out of hats, but possibly pulling in a staggering amount of money each single month. But guess what? The magic doesn't stop there. Oscar is stepping into our world of business on YouTube, hungry to learn, innovate, and expand. So whether you're a budding YouTuber, an entrepreneur, or simply curious about how the magic happens behind the scenes, this episode promises to be very interesting. Buckle up and let's unveil the secrets. Oscar, welcome to the show. How are you doing today, man?
Good, thanks. I might use that intro as my LinkedIn bio, to be honest. That was a good one, right now.
I'm glad that was good. All right, Ron, you want to kick us off with some questions for Oscar? Oh, yeah, wait, sure. Actually, before we start, Oscar, please tell our audience and the listeners and the viewers about yourself, who you are, and what do you do?
Of course, yeah. So my name's Oscar Owen. I'm a professional magician and YouTuber who lives in London in the United Kingdom. And I've been doing YouTube now for 7, 8 years. I think 2016 is when I started. Since then, I've grown my channel from 0 to 1 million subscribers. And then off the back of that, built several online courses that generate multiple 6 figures a year very passively. Whilst I'm not an automation channel, so I'm not a faceless automation channel, I speak to the camera and I introduce the videos and I perform magic and whatnot. About 90% of my channel is automated, which we can talk about later on. So I thought I'd hop on here, offer any value I can, and learn some things as well. So that's me.
Yeah, very awesome. Thanks for the introduction. And like a little bit more in terms of the background, like can you maybe share the story of how you initially got into the magic world, basically, and what inspired you to create a YouTube channel around it in the first place?
Yeah, so I mean, magic, it was one of those things where I'm pretty certain I saw David Blaine or Dynamo performing on TV way back when I was like a little child. And I specifically remember just seeing like TV magicians perform magic and then just seeing the look of astonishment that they're able to put on people's faces. And I think that just sparked curiosity within me to have some of that. So I went away, I found every book, I found every YouTube video I could find, and I started just mastering the art of magic and spent hours and hours and hours learning it. But I realized my main source of learning magic was from YouTube. That's it's free, it's the most accessible. When you're about 12, 13 years old, I'm not going to be buying really expensive DVDs and whatnot. But this is back in 2016, 2017. So YouTube wasn't what it was today. And the quality of videos, especially in the magic niche, was just really bad. I mean, most people were filming things on their like webcam. They'd like the longest introductions, 20 minutes talking about everything from the weather to their mum to anything. And then they'll be like, oh, by the way, here's the trick. And I just thought I can do this better. I just had that. I saw a little gap in the market and I wanted to go for it. So I started filming magic videos, try to make them as high quality as possible, deliver as much value as possible. And that's how I started. And the channel just grew from there. And I've been doing it ever since.
Got it. It's really amazing story. Thanks for sharing. So first it started out as a hobby and then you saw like an opportunity on YouTube, I think. But did you already had the expectations that when you started posting on YouTube that it could turn into an actual business?
Not at all. It was a passion project. So I'd come home from school when I first started. I was 17 years old or 18 years old. And I would just finish my homework and then just look forward to making a really high quality magic video. And I think that leans into one of the most important things, be it like any YouTube business you're running, you've got to be passionate about what you do. If you're serious about using YouTube as a full-time income or a side hustle, whatever it is, if you're not interested in the topics that you're making videos about, you're not going to be able to make successful YouTube videos on that topic because the passion isn't there. And at the end of the day, as much as you can automate stuff, usually to begin with, you've got to put in the hard work to actually build that channel to start off with, and then you can start offloading things and whatnot. But at least to begin with, if you need to get through that initial push, you've got to find a topic that you're passionate about so you can actually come home and look forward to making videos. And that's what it was for me. I just absolutely loved making magic videos. And then the world saw them and you get good feedback. And then it's just a positive loop cycle and the channel grows from there. And yeah, so that's really how it started.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And like, was there a specific moment when you were thinking like, okay, wow, this maybe can turn into an actual business? Like, was there a specific moment, or did it came like gradually?
It was very, very gradual indeed, because I was always going to go to university. I was always going to finish school. So that's what I did. So I finished school, finished university. I think when I finished school, I had 10,000 subscribers. When I finished university, it might have been 500,000 subscribers. I'm not entirely. I finished uni a couple of years ago. So I'm not entirely sure how many subscribers I got, but because of that gradual growth, it was very natural for me to then finish university and look at the amount I was making and be like, okay, well, if I got a job, a 9 to 5, I'll be earning this amount. But if I keep doing YouTube, I'll be earning this amount. So it was just a natural instinct to be like, no, I'll just keep doing YouTube and make sure that, you know, I'm really passionate about it. So why not keep doing it?
Yeah.
All right. I have a question. So you mentioned in the beginning that 90% of the videos that you do now are automated, right? You're still presenting the video. Yeah. And I'm curious, how does that look for you? And how did you come about to automating it? Like what triggered you to do that? And how does your process look right now?
Yeah, that's a pretty good question. So when you start off, I'm a firm believer in the fact that when you start off any business, not even just YouTube, but let's say you're running an ads business, you want to get an understanding of how ads work before you pay someone to run your ads. And it's the same with YouTube. You want to do a bit of everything. So you understand how to make a thumbnail, how to film a video, how to write a script. So you just know what works. And then once you've got an understanding of the craft of making a YouTube video, you understand the process behind how YouTube videos work. That's when you start thinking to yourself, okay, if this is my business and this is my life, what parts do I enjoy and what parts don't I enjoy? So for me, I absolutely love talking to the camera and I absolutely love filming the videos. Editing, I enjoyed it, but it took ages. So I kind of wanted to cut that out. Script writing, I enjoyed it, but again, it wasn't my passion, as it were. And making thumbnails and also coming up with ideas for videos, I enjoyed those parts-ish, but I just wasn't that passionate about it. I'd much rather just have a more streamlined process where I just do the bits I'm passionate about, ship it off to other people who do all the other bits of the work, allowing me to spend my time doing other things that I'm passionate about, be it making more videos or be it traveling or be it spending time with friends and family. So it's very much the work-life balance, which was the motivation to start me in this like automation journey. Then what I did was like, okay, so I sort of wrote out like a pipeline. So from start to end of the video, this is the whole process. And then I basically just circled that the bit I like is actually making the video. Every other part, it's not that I disliked it. It's just I'd rather someone else do it and pay them money to do it because that would make my life a lot easier. So I started off with the video editing. We can talk more. I think getting a really good video editor is so important. And it's also a bit of a challenge. So we can talk more specifically about that in a second, how you go about finding a really good editor. But what I did was initially I went up Upwork, found an editor there, and then I trained him up. And then once I did that, I started automating things one at a time. I didn't just ship it all off. So I sent him videos, he learned my style, and suddenly like 50% of the work was just gone. I was like, well, that's brilliant. Well, what's the other part I don't like? I don't really like script writing that much. So then I found a really good script writer, trained him up on my style, how I speak. And it's got to the point now where, as we mentioned in the beginning, I'm moving away from doing magic and moving on to a different business, which is teaching people how to do YouTube. So because of that, I won't even have time to learn all the tricks and do all the performances myself. So I then spent a long time scouring the internet for really good magicians who are really good at filming themselves, but also performing magic, reached out to them and basically trained them up to teach them how I perform magic. But I'm basically now employing them and paying them per video to send me clips of them performing and teaching magic. And then we put that on the channel. So that was my reasoning why I wanted to automate it. It was to improve that work-life balance, but also to allow myself the opportunity to move on to bigger and greater things.
So I want to emphasize on this point a little bit.
Yeah.
It seems that everything is working really well for you right now. You're making good money, I'm assuming. You have a team. You are doing the work that you actually enjoy doing. And as you mentioned a couple of times already, you're moving on to a different thing, which I would like you to explain what it is. And then also, why is it that you're moving into that direction? Hey, quick interruption. Do you dream of escaping the 9-to-5 job and living a life of freedom? Well, if you are a regular listener, then you know that Ron and I, we're all about YouTube search, and it's given us the financial freedom to live life on our own terms. Now, if you're ready to take your YouTube game to the next level, we've got something special for you, a free training that can help you get there. So if you're serious about making money with YouTube search, then check out the free training by clicking the link down in the show notes or in the description of this video. Now, let's get back to the podcast.
Of course, yeah. So I'm now moving on into the world of teaching people how to build YouTube channels and the online business world. So how to set up a course and make money passively from your course, which is something I've also done with my main channel. The reason for doing it is I've been doing magic for 7 years on YouTube, and I just felt like it was time for a change. It's not that I don't enjoy making those videos. I really still enjoy doing it, and I probably will be doing it for indefinitely. I've got no plan to actually stop making videos, but I wanted a new challenge, and I wanted to move into, I think, like just a bigger market. There's selfish reasons where there's obviously a lot more money in this world, and obviously I'm a businessman, and that's a motivation for me. But also, I really enjoy teaching at my core. So I teach magic. And one thing recently, going to a lot of YouTube conferences and meeting other YouTubers and meeting people who want to start doing YouTube as well. I always find myself really enjoying teaching people how to become a YouTuber. And I think there's so much that I've learned over the past few years of growing to 1 million followers. And that's knowledge that I want to share. So I'm building a new channel now. It's very, very, very beginning of it. I'm testing things out, and I haven't quite figured out what that channel is going to look like yet. But I'm basically going to be sharing everything I know about YouTube, and people who subscribe can watch my entire journey of growing this channel from my new channel from 0 to however many followers it's going to have in 5 years' time or so.
Awesome. Ron? Yeah. So me and George are also a big advocate of like making sure you have different kind of income outside of YouTube. You already talked about a little bit that you have a course on your main channel. Yeah. Would you maybe highlight what kind of income sources you have around your YouTube channels?
Yeah, so the YouTube channel, so there's a whole bunch. As you say, diversifying your channel income is so important. If you just rely on ads, and you've got most of the time with YouTube videos, it's like 1, 2, or 3 videos that actually get the majority of your money. Not all the time, but a lot of the time that's the case. And if those videos stop getting views, suddenly you can find like your income halving. So I think relying on AdSense to begin with is great. It's the easiest kind of way to make money, very, very passively. But after that, you want to start thinking of other ways to monetize your audience. So what I do, my biggest income stream is my online course, which is called Card Magic Pro. It costs $200, and it basically just teaches you everything you need to know about how to go from knowing nothing about magic to being a pro magician. We've had people take the course and they've gone on like Australia's Got Talent, or they've become professional magicians. It's basically like the go-to resource.
Or work for you in the
or work for me, yeah. That's also the case sometimes. But it's like the go-to resource for becoming an amazing magician. But obviously, that's just one form of income. I think digital courses are insanely good and really, really good passive income. I also do affiliate marketing. So on the bottom of all my YouTube videos, I just have links to the equipment that I use and the cards that I use. I've also written a book. I spent couple of years writing a book with a company in the US, and we've sold that in I think 140 different countries and 150 bookshops. And again, that just teaches magic as well. So I promote that in the links in all my videos, and some videos I promote that. So that's a very passive form of income. And then finally, I do content syndication, which is where I work with another company to upload my videos to other platforms like Facebook and Snapchat and whatnot. And that now actually, forgetting about the course, makes more money than the AdSense and all the other ones put together.
Really?
A lot
That's
of people
the biggest one right now.
Yeah, the online course is the biggest one because the profit margins on that are about 90–95%, because online courses, you invest your time up front, but then after you invested your time, it's 100% passive. The whole thing, as you say, is automated, right? The course gets sent to them automatically. Customer service is automatic because they want to change their password. They don't reach out to me. They reach out to the company that hosts my course. So it's the most passive, amazing form of passive income ever, in my opinion. But content syndication is where you often work with another agency who will take your videos, reformat them specifically for Facebook. So they'll do a lot of editing themselves. They will take a cut of the profits, but they show your videos to an entirely new audience. And almost, I think every big YouTuber does it. So Mr. Beast, KSI, all these people, Mr. Who's the Boss, they all work with content syndication companies, unless they do it in-house, but that's expensive, to reshare their videos on other platforms. So I've been doing that, and it's been a really, really good source of income for doing no extra work.
It's so interesting you say that that is now, you know, second biggest driver of revenue in your business, because I would never think of that, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and the wonderful thing is you don't have to do anything. So there's a lot of companies out there. Jelly Smack is a very famous and popular one. I work with a different company, but they have teams of people who literally edit, analyze. It's the sort of thing that, you know, I could do myself. I could upload videos to Facebook if I wanted to, but it's that time versus money thing. And it's like the amount of time it would take me to re-edit my videos and upload it versus just giving a percentage of the profits to another company, but they do so much work that would take me a long, long time. It's so worth it when it comes to money, especially the fact that it generates more money than like my AdSense does. And, you know, a lot of my videos, I think my channel averages about 200,000, 250,000 views every 48 hours. So the AdSense money is pretty good from that, but the Facebook is another level. So definitely recommend looking into that to anyone who is a YouTuber watching this and is looking for ways to diversify their income.
Yeah,
because you already have the backlog of videos, so you don't need to do any extra work. You just kind of sign an agreement with them, and then you say, okay, here are my videos, go ahead, make me more money.
100%. That's 100% it. So it's, again, it's a form of automation, I guess, but it's just another way to earn money online, and a lot of people don't know about it. Most of the time they reach out to you, but you can also reach out to these companies as well, have a half decent pitch saying, look, this is the content, it's doing this number of views. I'm making, they love videos. They love channels that make a lot of videos, because the more they post, the more money they make, and you make as well. But obviously they're a business, they want to make money. So if you're a channel that uploads a lot of videos, you're like a really good potential customer or client for them.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Also, a point I want to highlight, like the whole YouTube automation thing, like the biggest asset you have is, of course, your team, because they're basically doing the majority of the work. Could you maybe elaborate more, like how you trained your team to operate in such a way that you're like happy about the results and that you don't have to do the work yourself anymore?
100%. So I think the most important one is your video editor, obviously, because that is the final product that people see. So my strategy was I went onto Upwork, and then I put out an ad. In the ad, I said that I'm looking, I think it's very important you say I'm looking for a long-term editor, because editors tend to like that and you get more applications. So I said I'm looking for a long-term editor to work with me. Didn't say what my channel was, but I just gave like a rough idea of what it was and whatnot, like the kind of content that I make. And then very importantly, because I think the most important thing you need with an editor is not just someone who can edit, but someone who's also willing to learn, like is really willing to like make the best videos possible.
Yeah.
And at the moment, you put an advert up on Upwork and every response is just done by ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
It's the most annoying thing in the world, because you can just tell that someone has just, you know, you say
the wordings are the same. It's all the same.
All the same. So I specifically say, if this is written by ChatGPT, the response, I'm not even going to consider you, because you want someone who actually cares and actually takes the time and the effort to do it. So I got all the different applications, and then I hired 4 video editors, and I sent them all the same files. And what it does, you know, I think it's maybe $150, $200 for the first video is what I put up as the tester. So it was, you know, it's $800, $900 to actually run this test, but long term, it's a really good investment to make.
Yeah.
And you hire 4 editors, send them the same information, send them the same files, everything like that. Then they all come back, and you just watch all 4 videos. And whoever did the best video, I hired that person, said no to the others. And then what I specifically did was I then sent them a new video, and I let them edit it how they'd want to edit it. And then when they sent me back the file, I'd already edited the video how I would have edited it myself. And then I made them send me the actual files that they used to edit the video. And I went through and just screen recorded myself for 2 hours, changing every little detail, the font, the size of the font, the sound effects, the music, the timing, when to speed up, when to slow down. And that, I, again, paid for their time, but I just made sure they watched the 2.5 hour video of me droning on about changing all these different things. And then after that, they were that close away from my style. And then from there, it was just a matter of 3-4 more videos, and they basically had it down. So that was how I got the editing.
Yeah, that's really smart. Like, it's basically a copy of you in terms of video editing. That's exactly what you also want for your audience, I think, because you don't want them to notice that something changed. So I think 100%. You made a good decision there. But I think is quite funny. Like, you're saying video editor is the most important one. And of course, I agree, because it's visual. But I would say finding a script writer is also very difficult, because you're in such a niche about magic. And you also need to find someone that can write a script that matches your tone of voice and your personality. So how did you find like a script writer in that way?
Yeah, so you're right on that one. The script writer, I found this guy, I just got very lucky. So I found this guy on Fiverr who was expensive, but he had already seen my videos and he already liked magic. So I was going to do the similar thing. And then I was Fiverr, you can kind of message people before. I mean, you can do the same on Upwork. So I was just kind of messaging them before, just letting him know what I was into. He's like, oh, I'm actually really passionate about magic and stuff. So we kind of work together. So I come up with a video idea usually, because that's what I want to, I want to make a video on this, or I'll already be speaking to one of the other magicians and I'll say, hey, can you make a video on like 7 amazing tricks you can do with playing cards, for example. The magician will go away, make the video, then he'll send me the files, then I'll send the files to the script writer, and the script writer will watch it all, and he'll just come up with what he thinks the best kind of voiceover would be. And the truth is, with most like how-to magic videos, it's very basic what he's saying. It's, put the coin in your left hand and do this, this, this. So it's not the most advanced thing. So it wasn't too bad finding a script writer.
It makes sense, but it's in the details here.
Yeah, sure.
There. Well, I want to shift gears a little bit and come back to the course, which is the main driver of the revenue for your business.
Yeah.
So after you started your YouTube channel, at what point you decided, okay, I wanna offer people watching my videos a course? How did you go about figuring out what is it that they want to actually learn? And what are some of the tips you have for people who perhaps want to sell a course, who are also having attention on the internet?
Yeah, I mean, I think the wanting to do the course just kind of came naturally. I'd followed a few magic courses myself and thought they were really good. So I thought I'd love to do this for my audience. In terms of figuring out what kind of content needs to be in the course, that's a really important question, because if there's no market for what you're trying to sell, no one's going to buy it. So the best thing you can do is just ask your community. So if you go way back into my community feed on YouTube, I've still got the posts up there, I think, but it's literally me saying, hey guys, I'm thinking about making a course on magic, teaching card magic, for example. Who would be interested? And then loads of people, someone, yeah. I think like 500 people liked the little comment, whatever it was. And I said, awesome. Well, put your, I made like a landing page to collect some emails early on. And I just said, put your email here if you think you're interested, and I'll message you more details. Then of that list of people who were interested in it, I sent them emails saying, what would you want to see? What kind of things are you struggling with? And from that, I was able to get a really solid basis on the things that people wanted to learn. I also bought other courses as well that were successful in the magic niche, and I saw what they were doing and I stole some of their ideas, perfectly honest. And then I combined it with my own style and my own tricks and my own everything. And I kind of meshed together what I thought would be like the ultimate course. So that's how I went about actually figuring out what was in the course. In terms of your second part, which was like tips on setting up a good course?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, the first thing is you've got to figure out that there's a market for it, which is what we just talked about. B, you've got to figure out who your target audience actually is, like who you're trying to sell this for, sell this to. So with magic, it was, you'd think that it's like maybe younger people, but it turns out that the people who are willing to actually spend like $200 on a course were like older people in their like 30s and 40s and all of that, and even people in their like 70s and 80s who'd retired. So I figured out that that was my target audience just by asking questions about pricing, who could afford this, who couldn't. And that's what I found out. So I was like, okay, so I'm actually targeting for a slightly older audience. So that kind of impacted some of the content that I put in the course, because I wanted things that were maybe involved less dexterity, because the older people they tend to have less dexterity in their hands. So Secondly, you need to find out, who your avatar is, who your actual audience is. And then finally, it all just comes down to marketing. Because if you've got the best course in the world, but no one knows it exists, then how do you sell it? So for me, with the YouTube channel, 99% of all my traffic comes from YouTube. It's all organic. I only just started doing paid ads, but we can forget about that for now because it was like last month I started doing it. So it's about marketing it in your YouTube videos. And my whole thing with selling anything online is offer as much value up front for free as you possibly can. Give them so much they think, wow, this is free. What's in the paid course? A lot of people do it the other way around where they say, no, we'll hold everything back and we'll just teach them the basics of this and that. You can do that. And I'm sure it does work for some people. But from the research and my experience, if you literally give away, what I do on my channel is I give away all the knowledge. So I teach you how to do all these amazing tricks. But if you want to implement that knowledge really well, if you want to learn how to hold yourself, how to present those tricks, what to say, how to have the confidence to do it, how to be a better speaker when actually performing these tricks, that's what you get in my course. So I basically teach you the knowledge for free on YouTube, which is really valuable. If you want to take that and go away and try and do the magic, that's fine. But if you then want to like become an expert magician and implement the knowledge that I teach you, that's why you get the course, if that makes sense. So that's how I go.
That's wonderful. I love that. Ron, what questions do you have?
Yeah, that's really great. And like, how do you implement like the course call to action in your video? Is it just like subtle, like, hey, check the description for my course, or do you have like a certain ad break towards it? Or
yeah, there's a bunch of different ways. So I've experimented with a few different things. Some people, it's just directly saying, by the way, if you want to, I'll teach so I'll perform a really good trick, and then sometimes I'll teach the trick, and at the very end, I'll literally say, hey guys, if you enjoyed that, you'll love my course where I teach tricks like this, but are even better. And I teach you everything I just mentioned. So sometimes it's just direct from the YouTube channel to the sales page. Other times it's through like warming up the leads. So I'll do things. I've recently launched like a webinar, for example. And in that webinar, I teach what I think is the best card trick I've ever created, completely free. So this is a trick that I'll do to finish my shows. If someone pays me to do magic and I want a card trick to finish it, it's the exact trick that I would do. So I'm teaching that so much value completely for free. And then at the end, I just say of the webinar, I say, guys, this is just one trick of like 50 you can learn in my course, plus all this other stuff. Because you're watching my webinar, I'll give you a massive discount. And that's another way to sell it. And then the final way is I use email marketing. So I'll do, instead of like an advert selling my course, I'll do an advert basically just selling a free masterclass. So I say, hey guys, if you want to, very quickly before we go on to the next trick, if you want to learn 5 amazing magic tricks for free, click the link down in the description and I'll send it straight to your email. And then obviously they watch that, they get the value up front, 5 amazing tricks. But then I've got an automated email system that then basically just sells my Card Magic Pro course, again, by offering them more value. So I just give them tricks for free within those emails that are inside the course and just show them how much value is inside the course that they obviously, hopefully buy it.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And like at the top of the funnel, you basically have your YouTube videos, which is generating the traffic. Have you ever considered like posting on TikTok, Instagram, and that kind of stuff? Like, why did you stick to YouTube?
No, I do have TikTok. I've got about 300K there, but it's not. I see. Yeah. It's basically they're very different audiences. So YouTube is the long form, and I did started doing Instagram like literally a couple of weeks ago, and I went from 0 to 20K in about maybe a month. Yeah, something like that. And it's teaching magic, but it's the audience who subscribe to you on TikTok and Instagram. They're much less targeted. It's just like random people who go, oh, that's a cool trick. Learn it, follow next. It's a lot harder to sell for them. But when someone is watching a 15-minute YouTube video on a magic trick, they're much more dedicated and they're much more likely to actually watch it. Then in things like I've just started launching paid advertising with an advertising company, and you can kind of like target how long people are watching your videos if you want to show them ads. So if they're just watching my video for like 5 seconds, won't show them ad. But if they're watching 80% of my video, they're the kind of people we'll actually start showing ads to. So that's been quite successul as well.
Yeah. Retargeting.
Sense. Yeah, of course. Retargeting.
That's really smart. Yeah.
Oscar, you're 24 years old, right? And you're very smart. I'm not going to lie. Talk about yourself. Do you read books? Do you study? How do you go about self-development?
Yeah, I'm massive into self-development. So I think I've read every Tony Robbins book there is. I've listened or watched
Let's
every David
go.
Goggins book. Yeah, my main passions are like priorities wise, it's always health first. So run every other day, gym 5-6 times a week, because I think that just puts you in a really good mindset to tackle everything else. So for me, they're my non-negotiables: reading, fitness, and doing all that. And then, yeah, that fuels me to then be able to sit down and make videos and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, my next video actually, I think on my new channel is going to be about, it's back there somewhere, but about Atomic Habits by James Clear, because I think that's one of the books that's most impacted me in terms of being consistent and really like figuring out what your goals are, what your values are, and then like actually really going for it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of how I operate. But I also think it's really, as much as it is wonderful to hustle and grind and do all that stuff, I think it's so important to enjoy life. And for me, enjoyment comes from traveling. So I try and travel as much as I possibly can. Because of YouTube, it allows that lifestyle, which is one of the reasons I'm so grateful for having this channel and having the passive income and the automated income as well. That is part of running a YouTube channel. So I love traveling around the world. We're traveling for like 9 months last year, which was amazing, and was making videos when I was away. And yeah, so that's kind of a little insight into how I operate as a human being.
Do you sometimes catch yourself thinking, I'm sitting here enjoying my life, and at the same time I'm making money, and the people around the world are watching my videos? Like sometimes to me, myself, it feels very surreal to just like
100%.
just pause for a second and be like, what is this time we live in where people, like 250,000 people watch my videos every 48 hours. Some of them are going to go ahead and buy my course. And, you know, maybe I make 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever sales, you know, every 24 hours. It's just, it's surreal, man. I mean, like, I'm sure you work hard, but you don't work harder than a coal miner, do you?
No, I mean, I kind of go through phases. If I've got things to do, I will do, you know, I'll get up at 6 a.m. and I'll work till midnight, 1 a.m. to get something done. But as you say, I don't try and celebrate that. I don't think getting 4 hours sleep a night is anything to celebrate. It's just, you're overworking and you're not like prioritizing your health. So I used to be a bit like that, where I would work as much as possible, but now I try and set limits to when I stop working, just so longevity wise, it's just much better for like your mental health. And when you're actually trying to just, not like get burnt out and all that. Yeah. But no, I completely agree with you. It's absolutely crazy. Being able to earn a full-time income from making, 1 or 2 videos a month and running a course that's basically automated. And that's part of the reason I want to go into teaching it, as you guys are with automation, and you've obviously found a niche that you're passionate about and you can teach others, which is a very fulfilling thing in itself. I want to do the same thing in a slightly different angle of YouTube, but that's one of the reasons I want to start doing it, because I'm not.
Let's talk a little bit more about that. Ron, do you have any questions for Oscar about his new venture, like moving into the new channel, right? Because I think, like, you've been doing this for quite a while, right? Everything is pretty automated. Like you said, everything is fine there, but you want a new challenge, you know?
Yes.
So, and I feel kind of like, I don't know why, but I get a feeling that, that is something that is much more on your mind right now. Am I correct? Rather than the magic channel?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Okay, so what's the strategy with this? Like you said, you want to teach people on how to start and grow YouTube channels, right?
Well, it kind of comes down to the thing, which is whenever you talk about YouTube and you always say, oh, people go, what do you do? And you go, oh, I'm a YouTuber. 5 years ago, that wasn't even a job. 5 years ago, people would say, like, what's a YouTuber? And now there was a study that came out recently, and in the UK, it was 1 in 4 children would rather be a YouTuber over being a doctor, being a lawyer, being an accountant. Mm-hmm. And it's such an emerging industry. It's brand new, 30, 40 years from now, it's going to be a completely different world. And anyone listening to this who wants to get into YouTube, when I speak to people in person, they go, oh yeah, I would have loved to be a YouTuber, but it's too saturated now. I can't do it. Or they have all these assumptions why they just can't be a YouTuber. And the truth is, it's a brand new industry. And anyone, like I firmly believe anyone, if you've got the motivation and the passion and the drive to become a YouTuber, you can do it. It's not necessarily easy, but it's definitely possible for anyone who knows what they're doing and is willing to put in the work. So that's kind of why I wanted to move into this space, because, you know, I'd go, I mean, I said I went traveling for ages and I would tell people, oh, I do YouTube and stuff. And they had no idea like what that involved, how to do it. And I think if you can teach more people how to do it, it's like it's a very profitable thing for yourself, but it's also changing people's lives. I think on a slightly bigger scale than magic. And that's one of the reasons I really want to move into it and just start teaching people how to make money online and how to build a full-time income being a YouTuber and talking what they're passionate about.
Yeah, and I do think of many people, yeah, they exactly want to make money online and they like YouTube because they probably watch it a lot as well. So it perfectly makes sense. And do you have any specific advice or tips or tricks for people that want to start out but maybe don't know how yet, or that kind of stuff?
Yeah, of course. I mean, at first, I think it all comes down to like assumptions, right? So most people, I think everyone who starts with YouTube always it comes down to mindset. So it always comes down to limiting beliefs. If you ask anyone like, okay, why don't you start a YouTube channel tomorrow? It's normally, oh, I don't have anything to talk about. I don't have to film videos. I don't have to edit videos. I don't have the time. I'm not good looking enough. I'm too old. I'm too young. I would love to do it, but I don't have the personality. There's all these different assumptions. And the first thing I'd say is write down whatever your limiting belief is, and then go on YouTube and find someone who's literally made a video about, oh, I thought I was too old to be a YouTuber, but look at me, I'm 82 and I have a YouTube channel and I've got 100,000 subscribers. So I think the first thing is mindset. And it always sounds a bit cringe to be like, oh, mindset. But it really is true, because if you don't have certainty that you're going to be able to be a YouTuber and actually do it, you're never going to follow through with it. So I'd say that's the first thing. The second thing is, I think the biggest mistake that new YouTubers make then, so let's just say you're in a position where you're about to start and you're certain you want to become a YouTuber. The biggest mistake new YouTubers make, in my opinion, is they try and seek perfection from the very beginning. So they go, okay, I've got to make a new YouTube channel. I've seen, you know, we live in a culture where you've got Mr. Beast, you've got Mr. Who's the Boss, all these people who have near perfect videos on YouTube. So you see that and you go, wow, if I want to compete in that space, I've got to be perfect. And that's right, because you do need to make really good videos. But to begin with, when you're just starting, it's not about making perfect videos. It's all about understanding the craft of YouTube itself and learning how the whole YouTube process works. So in my opinion, your first 10 to 15 videos, it doesn't even matter what it's on niche wise. It doesn't matter what you talk about. You've just got to make 10 to 15 videos, and on each video, just get a little bit better. James Clear talks about in his book, Atomic Habits, the 1% better rule, which is if you get 1% better every single day, by the end of the year, you'll be 37 times better than when you started. And it's the same with YouTube videos. If you just make 1% incremental changes for the first 10 to 15 videos, your 15th video will be so much better than your first video. And then after that, that's when you go, okay, I've made 15 videos. I think this YouTube thing's for me. Let's actually start now trying to become like really serious about it and really try and get perfect on these videos. But the first 10 to 15 videos, literally just make them. Even me, I've made 300 videos or so on my Magic channel, and my new channel, I'm just testing things out. I'm making a video tomorrow about the James Clear book. I'm making videos on confidence. I'm just trying different things out, find out my style. I've just switched up my studio in the last couple of days because I don't quite know how I want to present it. So I'm just using it as a testing ground right now. And if the videos get 50 views, I'm not bothered by that, because I know that I'm not trying to, that's not my goal at the moment. I'm just trying to understand how to make this new channel, and then I'm going to go from there. So that's the main advice I'd give.
Yeah, that's a very healthy mindset to have, I think. And also like the perfectionist side, like if you check any channel and you check their first video, the video always looks horrible, or the first couple of videos. Of course. So that's also a way to just get started, basically. That's something to keep in mind. I fully agree with that. And based on like the future, the upcoming, like you started a new channel, like do you have specific goals or plans with that channel? Do you have something you want to achieve, or do you just go with the flow and see where it will end?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, if I was like, what's my goal with it? I'd love to become one of the main resources that people go on YouTube. If you want to start, you're someone who wants to start a YouTube channel, you go on YouTube and you'd find my one, and it would give you everything you need to know on how to set up an amazing YouTube channel or online business. But To be honest, I don't know yet. I'm sure things will change as I start making videos. I think it's always great to have a 5-year plan, but 5-year plans never actually end up.
A lot of things change.
Yeah, like my goal now, I'd say, is to become a really good resource on teaching people how to make a YouTube channel, and off the back of that, like make a business and have a good lifestyle from it. That would be my goal for now.
Yeah, I think it's a good mindset to have, but you're also in the position that you can do that. Like, you don't have to make money, like you don't need to worry about paying your bills, because you have your main channel and your course and your other income sources to just focus on what you enjoy. And I think from that kind of position, you will also create the best videos, because you're not forcing it. So yeah, I think that's a good way to approach it for sure.
That's the goal, but it's a very, very competitive niche. So for someone to stand out in that niche, it can't just be the same old stuff. And I know that, but how you go about differentiating yourself, or I still don't know that yet. So I'm still very much thinking about that and how I want to present myself. But that's part of the beauty of YouTube, and that's part of the game. If it was easy, everyone would do it. So that's like, I've tried to identify that as a challenge, and I'm in the process right now of learning, which is why if people want to subscribe, you can follow that journey as I go about it. I'm sure my 20th video from now will be entirely different from the next video that I make, because I'm just trying to evolve the videos and get 1% better.
I'm very curious where the second channel is going to eventually, where you're going to take it with this channel and how you're going to evolve with it. And I'm also curious to see how your RPM, revenue per mil, is going to be different on your second channel than it is from your main channel as well.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I mentioned this before the call. It's sort of a bit of blasphemy as being a YouTuber, but I'm not entirely sure what my RPM is for my magic channel. I know it's decent. I did look it up like a year ago. But
a year ago.
Yeah, literally, because AdSense, it makes up like a decent amount of money, but because the courses and that's what I focus on, I don't really check the AdSense too much anymore. But
Oscar, may I interrupt you? Percentage-wise, what is AdSense revenue from your total monthly income, if you want to share that, roughly?
Maybe 15%.
15%. Okay.
15. Yeah.
Now I understand why you don't look.
Yeah, it's a small part. Yeah. So that's just why I haven't particularly checked on it. But it's what was I saying? I forgot where I was going.
We were talking about RPMs, and you were going into the second channel as well.
Oh yeah, I've just the online business world there's much higher RPMs there. So there is obviously like business motivations to want to go into that niche as well, for sure.
And are you planning to eventually attach a digital product to that as well? Maybe.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
I think digital products are definitely. I don't know how it would work with automation channels if you can sell digital products. I mean, I'm sure you guys could say if you do.
Yeah,
I think.
Sorry, basically, what I'm doing right now with my channel, I'm of course working with freelancers as well, and they're going to start filming their faces as well and do like a complete professional introduction, so people watching the videos can get a feeling with the person who's making the video, and that way they will click sooner on like an affiliate link or a digital product. So that's like the transition I'm making with my automated channel. I do think that's like the only way to do it, because if you're asking a couple $100 for a digital product or recommending people to an affiliate link, they want to have some sort of trust, and you get that trust when people can look at your face. So that's what I'm doing as well. So yeah, it perfectly makes sense to have someone in front of the camera.
Yeah, in my experience, people buy digital products for two reasons. One is trust and authenticity, and the second is results. So you've got to tick both boxes. And obviously, results you can show through testimonials and all that kind of stuff. But trust, that's something that's built up over time, unless it's a very low ticket product. If it's something that's like 47 quid, you don't need. So I have another course that it's called 14-Day Magician, and that's completely separate from. I don't promote it on YouTube, and that's just if YouTube shut down tomorrow, how I'd make money. It's like a completely separate course, and it was just like a diversification thing, but not reliant on YouTube. And we deliberately ran ads of that for that channel, not to my audience, but to completely cold audiences. And we had to put the price of the product so much lower, because the people who were watching the adverts and going to my sales page, the results were there because I had transformations and testimonials, but the trust wasn't there because they didn't know who I was. So if they don't know who you are, it has to be an impulse buy. And an impulse buy, the max you can charge is about $50.
Yeah.
So you can have upsells and stuff once they've bought it. So for me, I call it 14-day magician, and the course itself literally costs £14. And then obviously within there, they watch the videos, there's upsells. So it does make money on the inside, but that's the only way I was able to actually sell that product. We started off much higher and it just didn't sell. And it's when we reduced the price down, that's how we were able to make that change.
Yeah, makes sense. And I'm also kind of curious, like with your main channel right now, the traffic, like, do you know where it's coming from mostly? Is it like browse from the homepage sidebar, or is it also search? Like, do you know that? Or
yeah, it's a bit of a variety. A lot of it is recommended videos and browse, but
yeah,
search is a massive one, because I think the beauty of having a search-based channel is that the content is evergreen. So some of my most popular videos are videos uploaded 5 years ago, and the lovely thing with magic is people are always going to be interested in magic. If not, you know, more people are interested in magic now than they were 5 years ago because there's more people, right? So that's the wonderful thing about magic as a niche, that, you know, when I went traveling last year, I only uploaded 4 videos, but my views and stuff didn't really go down because my old videos just kept the channel running, and they still do to this day. So I look at every video that I make as an asset, that it's not just trying to follow the trend, and it's not just going to get 100,000 views and drop off. It's kind of the other way around. I'll upload a video, let's say tomorrow, and it might take 3 months for it to get to 100,000 views, but in 5 months, it might be at 200,000 views. 5 years, it might be at 1 million views. So it's just a slow burning thing. Then obviously within those videos, I promote my courses and all that stuff. And yeah, so that's one of the reasons why having a search-based channel is very good.
Yeah, I really love to hear that, because that's exactly what we're doing as well. Like it's it's really a digital asset that's giving you constant revenue from YouTube. If you have a digital products or affiliate links, also extra income will come from there. So yeah, really happy you're saying that, because it's exactly what we're thinking as well.
Yeah, 100%. And like, you know, I don't have a 1.2 million subscriber base, but I've been on YouTube for 4 years now, and I've posted a lot of videos. I did a lot of videos. I tried to kind of also do the personal brand thing. And I was into e-commerce back then, and I was making videos about e-commerce, but I didn't know that it was a very competitive niche as well. But anyway, long story short, when I sat down and looked at my analytics and just kind of faced the reality, the one thing I saw that stood out was that the only videos that got views over the past, 2-3 years were getting their traffic from search. And I was like, okay. So then I was like, if all the videos are getting traffic from search, let me target all of the keywords that people are looking for in my niche, right? Which at that point was like drop servicing, kind of the sub niche of e-commerce. And then when I met Yuri and the guys from YouTube Automation, they were like, yeah, why do you focus on one niche? Just make search videos about anything. And I was like, oh my God, that's so smart. A channel doesn't need to be, obviously there's a trade-off, because on one end you have the personal brand and you have the kind of the niche down thing. But if for example, I never really had success selling, courses, online courses or digital products, so I couldn't really do that route. So then I went to the route of fully changing my channel into search and doing all kinds of random topics, right? I have like how to obtain power of attorney in, Illinois, which I know nothing about, but anyway, but yeah, that's kind of the point that I really like what you're, and Ron and I were like kind of nodding, because like search is, we understand power of search firsthand. And this is basically what we're preaching here on the YouTube Business Academy.
Yeah, so search is just the longevity side, and it's like, it's what, if you can really dominate your niche. So the magic, if you look up magic on on card tricks, coin tricks, pen trick, whatever it's going to be, one of my videos will appear somewhere, and that's how you kind of dominate the niche. But then it can be a bit of a mix as well, because let's say the attorney thing, let's say other people were making videos on that. I'm sure your video would also get recommended by the other people making videos on that particular topic. So I think it also depends on how many people are actually making videos on your niche. Lots of people make magic trick tutorial videos, or just magic videos in general. So a lot of my videos get recommended on off the back of other videos. But at the same time, if you focus specifically on like the search aspect, that's where, like, yeah, in 10 years time, if you've got a good video and YouTube knows it's a good video and people click that video and watch it, and you're providing value and people watch and there's a higher attention and everything, YouTube has no motivation to then like demote that to page 10 when the topic is searched for. So I think it just comes down to, at the end of the day, in your guys' case, like, yeah, targeting like searchable keywords, but also then obviously within the video itself, making it as good as possible so that people actually watch it, and then YouTube keeps that video ranking high.
I love that. I love that. I've been preaching that as well, you know, because there's been a lot of noise in the industry that we're in, and people are like, yeah, you just got to blast videos. It doesn't matter the quality, just, you know, find kind of keywords that people are searching for, but there are no videos for it. And I'm like, guys, just find keywords that you can rank for. But also the most important thing, the people who are going to be clicking and watching are people who want to see a good video, which, you know, a definition of a good video really depends on what that video is, right? If you're talking about Mr. Beast entertainment, that's one sort of kind of value, right? If that's entertainment value. But if you're looking for a video, how to obtain power of attorney in Illinois, the value in itself of the video is completely different. It's more informational value, right? So I think we've been kind of like with Ron, a little bit of pioneers in terms of this, in this space a little bit, in terms of like, okay, yes, we do want to target search terms and we do want to do the search game, but at the same time, we want to make the best informational videos possible, because we understand that eventually, you know, 1 month, 2 months, like you said, 3 months later, our videos are going to start ranking higher on top. And we're seeing this in our analytics as well, because the end user, the viewer, right, when he clicks on one video, which is the first, hello, welcome to my channel. This is my cat. This is my dog. Oh yeah, I went for a coffee. And then you have, you know, second, third, but then you have this other video. It doesn't have many views, but the guy is like, in this video, I'm going to show you X, Y, and Z. Okay, let's get into it. Step 1, 2, 3. Over time, you know who is going to win in the market.
100%. And just delivering that value and getting straight to the point that's the point. I mean, all YouTube cares about as a business, YouTube wants to make, like, all they care about is making money. They're a business. They want to make money.
Yes.
They need to then, to make money, YouTube needs to show people ads. YouTube can only show people ads if people are actually watching a lot of the video to get the mid-roll ads and stuff. That's why YouTube prioritizes watch time. How do you get a high watch time? You've got to make a good video that offers a lot of value. So that's why YouTube prioritizes watch time, because it's an indication of good value. So to get a high watch time, you need to actually make a valuable video. That's like the process. And the reason YouTube prioritizes that is because it makes the money. So it's like the circle. Yeah. So it's a win-win, because obviously the viewer's happy, YouTube is happy, and then the content creator's happy because they're actually providing value and they're not making some rubbish, you know, video that, I don't know, has been written by ChatGPT or something. Although that is a great way to actually make videos, but like, you know, adding some personalization and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And in terms of value, like, do you have some specific formula for your channel or for your videos that you're like, I want to include this and this and this, then I know the video will be the most valuable?
Yeah, so I follow a 4-part framework. It's called the Hive framework, which is hook, intro, value, end screen. So hook is, the hook's broken down into 2 sections. There's the first 5 seconds, then there's the first like 30 or so seconds. The first 5 seconds now is becoming so important, because people always bang on about how important thumbnails are, and they are. But if you're on your phone and you're on YouTube and you're scrolling through, you'll notice that the video autoplays as soon as you see the video. So thumbnails now are actually less important than they used to. They're still important because people see thumbnails at other points, like on the desktop and recommended videos, but especially on mobile, when you're scrolling through, if you stop, the video automatically starts playing. So thumbnails are really important, but the first 5 seconds of the video needs to match the title and the thumbnail, and actually needs to be engaging in some way. So that might be, if it's Mr. Beast, it's showing some like epic shot of him dropping a plane and exploding on the floor. If you're like you and me, where we're not doing that, it's about, in my magic videos, I always just show the most visual magic trick to begin with. But if it's just a talking head video, have graphics, have text, maybe in the first 5 seconds, have a few different cuts, and it just makes the video seem exciting and makes people want to click on it. So that's the hook. And then the rest of the hook is just sort of continuing that, but like building a curiosity gap where people want to watch the rest of the video. So you tease something, or you just basically tease the best part of the video. You ask a question that you're going to answer later on. So that's the hook part. The I is then introduction. Automated channels, you probably could do this. You could say like, hey, this channel, let's say it's an automated channel on football. You'd be like, hey, this channel is all about football and stuff. If you want to subscribe for more amazing videos, just click the subscribe button. A tip that my YouTube partner gave me was, if you ask people to subscribe, they're more likely to subscribe, which sounds very obvious. But I was always like, well, if someone subscribes to my channel, they just click subscribe. But they've done all the data and stuff at YouTube. And if you ask them specifically, please subscribe, they're much more likely to do it. So I then normally introduce my videos by going like, hey, my name's Oscar Owen. I'm a professional magician living in London. This is what builds the authenticity and trust thing that we're talking about. They just know who you are, where you're from. You want to keep it short. In this video, learning 5 amazing tricks, or if it's this video, you're going to see five of the best football goals ever, whatever the automated channel's on. And that's the introduction part. Keep it short, but it just builds that connection with the audience, because if there's a face there or whatever, they're more likely to buy your digital product or click on that affiliate link, whatever it is. Then the hook, the value part, the V, that's just the main bulk of the video. For automation channels and my channel as well, listicles work so well. So 5 of this, 10 of this, when you have a numbered thing, there's loads of psychological research into it. But just when you have, if some people are less like, if you just do like coin tricks, in my case, you don't say how many or don't number them, people are like, just click off. But if you have 8 coin tricks, people want to watch all 8 because they want to know what the 8th one is and the 7th one is. So that's a really good way to basically structure your value part. And if it is a vlog, I highly doubt your audience are doing vlogs, but if it were a vlog, you just have a storyline. So you actually just tell a story and it builds up to the main climax of the story. And then at the end of the video, that's the end screens. That's the 4th part of Hive. The end screen, if someone watches to the end of your video, it normally means that they're one of your ideal viewers, right? So you want to then direct them to either subscribe to your channel or watch one of your other videos. So at the very end, again, very brief, because you want to keep your watch time high. And often people drop off when you say like, thanks so much for watching, but just say, thanks for watching. By the way, if you like this video, you'll love this video. And it's like another video of yours. They watch your next video and they go down your wormhole of your channel. So that's the 4-part framework I follow.
Awesome.
Professional YouTuber. I love that.
Yeah. Works well.
Yeah, awesome.
That's amazing.
I agree. And like on the end screen, you don't promote, for example, your course then? You promote the video?
As in, yeah, I do some. So it varies, but it just kind of, so yeah, I might say, look, if you thought that was an amazing trick, go and check out my card course, which has 150 more amazing magic videos. You do want to keep it short. You don't want it to be like 30 seconds long, because because most people don't care realistically, and that drops it off, and that affects the overall watch time, which we know YouTube cares about. But it is also, if someone has got to that point in your video, normally it means they're more inclined to click on your course or subscribe to your channel or whatever. So it's worth like using that to your advantage. Don't just end the video.
Yeah, makes sense.
Amazing. Well, I think it's a pretty good time to round this up, right?
Yeah,
Of course.
Yes. Oscar, thank you so much for your time, for your energy, and for coming onto this podcast. We really, really appreciate you. Ron, thank you as well. And thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, by the way, if you want to check out all of Oscar's channels and stuff, I'm going to leave all the links down in the description. His main channel, his second channel. Subscribe, follow him on Instagram. And yeah, with that in mind, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, subscribing, and we will see you in the next week's episode. Bye.
Yes. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.